Шановні журналісти, вітання. Ми продовжуємо робочий день. І зараз будемо слухати звіт щодо ситуації на сході України від полковника Олександра Мотузяніка, речника адміністрації президента.
Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, Presidential Administration spokesperson on issues connected with the ATO. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. The information from ATO zone for the last 24 hours. Yesterday at the front we registered some reduction of the number of episodes of violation of the ceasefire by the enemy, but the situation is very complicated and the military actions near Gorlivka, Donetsk Airport, Marinka continue without any interruption. In Lugansk direction, yesterday all day there were shellings between the militants and Ukrainian servicemen in Chasty. Another military provocation from militants was registered in Stanitsa Luganska. The enemy is controlling the right high bank of Seversky Donetsk and is trying to use this advantage, shelling at our positions. It was not quite in the west of the region. About 2 o'clock at night, the enemy was shelling at Ukrainian reinforcements near Zolote. They were firing from occupied Pervomaisk near Troitska. Closer to the night, there was shelling using anti-tank systems and armored equipment. Late at night, the militants were shelling at our positions using 122mm guns. Donetsk direction near Svetlodarsk yesterday, it was quiet. There were registered only few episodes of shelling from guns and machine guns. That was in Lugansk and Lazavoye. The ATO forces replied to militants with also firing back at them near Sanjarivka, which is closer to the Baltsova. Ukrainian servicemen for an hour were shelled at from the mortar launcher. To the north and west from Gorlivka, the situation is very difficult, especially along the railway line Artemivsk-Gorlivka, Kurdyumovka, Pershetravnya, and Mayorsk. To the south near Verkhnyataretsk, early in the morning and late at night, there were also 2 armed provocations made by occupants. In the western part of Donetsk, the situation has not changed. The military actions continue 24 hours a day. In Avdiivka, the enemy was shelling at Avdiivka from 122mm guns. Avdiivka is at the contact line from the beginning of the year. The result of the shellings at the city by the militants, 31 persons was killed, 87 wounded, 3 of them are children, and these are the figures of the victims in peaceful population. The second hot point is the front line section near Marinka. Also, the snipers are very actively shelling at the positions of ATO. In Mariupolsky direction, only 1 armed incident was registered. Yesterday night, militants shelled from the mortars at our stronghold near Granitna. The enemy was firing from the opposite bank of Kalmius River. Yesterday, there were 13 flights of enemy's drones registered. 3 more drones of the country of aggressor were registered at the borderline with Crimea and also over the Russian-Ukrainian border in the north of our country. During the last 24 hours, 5 Ukrainian servicemen were killed, 6 were wounded. Ukrainian special services detained Russian subversive agents and their allies. The Security Service of Ukraine detained the citizens of Russian Federation near Bakhmutivka of Novodarsk district of Lugansk region. The detained person arrived to Ukraine to join the illegal armed group. Thanks to the professionalism of our law enforcers, the criminal could not understand who detained him. He believed that the Ukrainian servicemen are his allies. Also in Lugansk region, the attempt to recruit the citizen of Rubizhno was prevented. Last April, the criminal met the recruiter of militants and was getting people for this work. Besides, the Security Service of Ukraine detained the informer of the militants who's collecting information on the places of dislocation and movement of ATO forces. Here's the video with the my former colleague called me and he said to call if something moves via Konstantinovka. Then I was detained and I conducted negotiations with the colleague. Dear citizens of Konstantinovka, don't commit your own mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others. Don't do what you shouldn't be doing. Remember that you have families, you have relatives. We have to protect them. Don't do what shouldn't be done.
The Ukrainian armed forces are raising the battle capacity of their units. The recruits who were drafted in the spring of this year have successfully finished the course of training of infantry, armored vehicles and tanks. During their training in Kharkiv, the young soldiers were trained to drive and repair the major kinds of armored vehicles that our troops have. Recently, a regular shift of auto inspectors of Dnipropetrovsk region have come back home. Since the start of anti-terrorist operation, the volunteers from among the state inspection have, together with military and national guards, serve at the road checkpoints, and the Ukrainian patriots are supporting our heroes in the National Military Medical Clinical Center. In the open year, the concert of the Women's Concert Battalion took place.